Hello everyone! This is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome one and all to this newest edition of the Running on Empty Food Review series. I'm your host, the Report of the Week. Always a pleasure to be here. Maybe it was just me. It didn't seem like it was the smoothest introduction in the world, but there's a reason for that. I am struggling immensely right now in even being able to contain the excitement that I feel for this new Taco Bell release. These days, and I think you understand, when I think of Taco Bell and I think of... what do you even think of when you think of Taco Bell? I think of quality. I think of consistency. I know that I'm in for something good right now. Because when has Taco Bell ever even let me down? But all sarcasm aside, yeah, Taco Bell does have their consistency issues, but I will say this. The item that I am trying out today is part of a lineup that, generally speaking, I have actually found quite enjoyable. A few years back, Taco Bell released their grilled cheese burrito, and the grilled cheese burrito proved to be enormously successful. Right off the bat, it was a huge hit, a lot of interest in it, to the point where this was one of the items that Taco Bell actually put on their menu full-time, and it is still there. They have, on occasion, though, made various tweaks and adjustments, and this is one of them. So for a limited time, Taco Bell is now premiering the steak and bacon grilled cheese burrito. Now, with a name like that, I know you might be wondering, what exactly is there to it, right? That's a good question. Here's what it has. The steak and bacon grilled cheese burrito has grilled steak, filet mignon, obviously, nacho cheese sauce, chipotle sauce, potato, sour cream, a 3-cheese blend, that's all inside the burrito, and then on the outside of the burrito, on the tortilla, is a 3-cheese blend that is, I guess, grilled onto the burrito, hence the name, and here's where the bacon comes in. The bacon is sprinkled atop that grilled cheese blend that is on the exterior of the burrito, hence the name. So you have the steak on the inside, bacon on the outside, and it is available at the price of $7 for the burrito itself. But again, you could obviously say, well, $7, that might be a little steep, especially for Taco Bell. But think about it this way. Can you go to a steakhouse and purchase a nice steak dinner these days for $7? No, you can't. But you can go to Taco Bell and get steak that's just as high quality, if not higher, in a burrito with bacon on the outside. Yeah, that's a steal, all right. It is what it is. I think there were some people that were actually a little disappointed when they heard about this. They were hoping that the bacon would actually be on the inside as well as the outside, but as far as I understand, the bacon is only on the exterior of this burrito. But nonetheless, all joking and silliness aside, I'm going to try it out today. We'll see what it looks like, we'll see how it tastes, and that's all there is to it. Comes in the usual protective coating to keep it safe from the radiation. And now let's open this up. And here it is. I would describe this as being a very plump-looking burrito. And you could see kind of growing atop, like a sort of moss, is the bacon. So, you can see on the bottom, that's just regular tortilla, but on the top is where you have the grilled cheese, and then that's the bacon mixed in. Looks like it has a nice crisp to it. All right, and you could see for comparison to my head, it's actually a pretty decent sized burrito. Definitely has some mass to it. I'm going to pause the camera real quick, cut it in half so you can get a cross section, and then I'll try it out, so I'll be right back. Alright, the cross section is complete, and you could see, once again, just for a better view of it, it's actually amusing. It's like they actually sorted out the inside. Isn't that amusing? Where you could actually see on, right over here, there's the steak. You could see the potato right there in the middle. And, that's a bit funny, if you ask me. All right, with that said, you know what there is to it. You know all that there is to it. You know what it looks like. Now I'll try it out and see what it tastes like. Let's give it a shot. The steak and bacon grilled cheese burrito from Taco Bell. It's going in. All right, having eaten at least a bit of this, one thing that I did want to mention, and I believe I accidentally omitted it, and that's my mistake, I own up to it, this also has seasoned rice in it as well, so you will also notice that. So taking another look real quick at the cross section of the burrito, there you have it. And now into the assessment. There we go, I'm in focus. So, good news. Taco Bell, obviously they have their hits and they have their misses. And I'm sure we've seen that so many times at this point, where, I mean, I think the last item I even tried out from Taco Bell was absolutely horrible. This, on the other hand, I am pleased to say, is good. The grilled cheese burritos, at this point in time, I would say, are generally one of the better items from Taco Bell, at least that I have seen. When I bit into this, I was looking at the cross-section, and I was thinking to myself, just, in my mind, as I was sampling this, I was thinking to myself, this is either going to be one of those items where, kind of going along with the precedent, as it had been, all the flavors are going to combine nicely, or it's going to be one of those items where I could independently taste all of the ingredients, and they essentially just kind of clash with one another and exist separately. And I was thinking, I wonder which one it's going to be. I'm pleased to say that as I bit into this, I immediately realized everything combines very nicely. So, when I tried this out, what I could taste most prominently, first and foremost, were two things. I could taste the steak, and I could taste the Chipotle sauce. And I think those are going to be the two most potent ingredients that you are going to notice in the grilled cheese burrito. The steak, I am pleased to say, yeah, it's Taco Bell, and I always kind of roll my eyes when I hear them mention the steak. But nonetheless, it is still, at least compared to how their seasoned beef is, I would say their steak is still of slightly higher quality. There's a little more substance to it, but it's flavorful, it's juicy, tastes good. Likewise, all of the ingredients, as I mentioned, blend together very nicely. The seasoned rice complements the steak quite well. The potatoes give the whole thing a little bit of structure. At the same time, their own flavor complements everything, but the thing that I was a little worried about, which I am pleased to say had no adverse effect, I think when you looked in the cross-section, you could see that some of those potato pieces were on the larger side. I was thinking to myself, because I've had this happen before, they'll essentially suck up all the moisture, and I won't really be able to taste, any sort of sauces, etc., because they act like these glorified sponges. But in this case, they didn't. They again provided some nice structure, balanced everything out, and then I could taste the Chipotle sauce, which is pretty strong as well. And the Chipotle sauce always has this nice, sort of savory spice to it as well. It's just got a very nice characteristic. It complements the steak perfectly. And I would be willing to say that the Chipotle sauce, particularly, is able to successfully offset what might otherwise be some excess greasiness, because otherwise you have the bacon on the top and you have all the cheese and the various sauces, and otherwise it could be quite oily, quite fatty. But I will say that the flavor of that Chipotle sauce is able to, again, offset what might otherwise be a little too much. It's also pretty cheesy. Now, I will say, though, definitely not the cheesiest item I've ever had from Taco Bell. Some folks, I know they really like stuff very heavy on the cheese, but if you get this and you think, oh yeah, they say it's got the 3 cheese blend, and it's going to have the 3 cheese blend on the inside, and it's going to have the nacho cheese sauce and the grilled cheese on the outside. For all of the emphasis that you hear on the cheese, as far as the description is concerned, in reality, that was a mini earthquake. That's not like that was my foot hitting the tripod or anything like that. Surprisingly enough, though, it's not as cheesy as you would think it to be. Now, I personally don't have necessarily any objection to that, and I will say that because it still tastes good, all things considered. But for those of you out there who just want an extremely cheesy item, then you might be a little disappointed with this one, just giving you that heads up. On a final note, of course, the bacon, right? How does that taste? Can you really notice it at all? Now, as you can see, once again, and I'll hold this up one more time, the bacon is solely on the top. So there is no bacon inside the grilled cheese burrito. But if you take a look, I'll even peel this off a little bit. The bacon is mixed in with the 3 cheese blend that's grilled onto it, and you can see there are still lots of little bacon crumbles and bacon bits on the top. Many little pieces that all combine together into the grand product. The bacon itself I found to be enjoyable, especially from a textural standpoint. It gives a nice little crunch, has a nice little crisp to it, and I can taste it in every bite. I think this would still be a little bit better if there were bacon inside the burrito itself, and I know they could easily do that. I mean, they could put the bacon on the top. They've had many breakfast burritos and breakfast crunch wraps which are loaded with bacon, so they could easily put some of those bacon crumbles on the inside of the burrito as well. I just think that's one little adjustment that could make this even better than it is. But still, I could taste the bacon in every bite. Yeah, it's fatty, but it tastes good. And again, I like that texturally has that nice little crisp and crunch to it, which I think complements it quite nicely. But again, the star of the show here, definitely the steak, the Chipotle sauce. Those are the 2 most prominent ingredients, but the seasoned rice, the potato, and the bacon as well, they all combined, and they complement those other 2 flavors quite nicely. A lot of it comes together to be a most pleasant burrito. It still is a little on the greasy side, so be wary of that as you're eating this. It could easily get a little messy. I couldn't really taste much of the sour cream, I will say that. And again, as far as the cheesiness is concerned, definitely not the cheesiest burrito in the world, but with the bacon, that's where I could also taste some of that cheese as well, the 3 cheese blend on the top. So all things considered, personally, I'm happy with this. It tastes good, especially for Taco Bell standards. Tastes good, quality is decent, and again though, could have a few little tweaks. If you want something on the cheesier side, you might be a little disappointed by this, and personally, even forgetting cheesiness, as much as I like the bacon that's on this, and the fact that it still is most flavorful, I think that again, having some of those bacon crumbles inside the burrito itself would have been a really nice touch, and I would have liked to see that. Slightly overpriced, but still tastes alright for what it is, so therefore, out of 10, I'm going to give the steak and bacon grilled cheese burrito from Taco Bell an 8.2 out of 10. Could have a few improvements, but as an item, still tastes good, and I'm happy with it. That's all that I have for you. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm your host, The Report of the Week.